Hi, this is Jo and welcome to my Inspired Action Minisode series. These episodes are meant to help you think about your business in a new way and to take inspired action. Join me as I walk around my London neighbourhood and I discuss the most asked questions I get as a business coach. Let's dive in. Are you impatient like I am? Impatient to see the fruition of all the hard work that you've done to have your business already at the point on your vision board, already phenomenally successful, and all the happy feelings and all the money flowing and all the grateful, excited clients? Hell, I know that I am. And I know that this impatience can become problematic. This morning is a great example. I woke up knowing that I had a full day without anything on the calendar, a day that I was excited to start diving into some deep work. Personally, I have two projects on the go at the moment that require a bit of thought. One is I'm going to be completely overhauling my podcast soon, hopefully in the new year, and I'm so excited for a fresh take on how my podcast is going to look and bringing some great guests to the podcast for the first time. We're going to have a new title. We're going to have some new music. In fact, my husband's a musician and I'm meeting with him today to ask him to compose a little piece of fresh music for me. It's so exciting. So much great stuff is happening. And yet, together with my other project, which is creating my new mastermind for next year, my Time to Rise mastermind, and getting all of the training in my portal that I want to share. I'm so excited about both of these projects. Even as I'm talking about them, I'm starting to buzz. But I'm also getting some tightness in my diaphragm, in my solar plexus. And I know that for me, this is a sign in my energy that I'm starting to feel some anxiety and I'm starting to feel pressured. Now, who exactly is pressuring me? Not you, not my mum, not anyone. It's me. I am pressuring me. And this is the problem with being a highly driven, over-proving, over-striving, overworking, overdoing, all the overs, overthinking, strong, independent, successful, bright, powerful woman. I'm all those things. You're all those things. And the problem is that we get those things tangled up. We start to think, oh, if I'm going to be powerful and successful, then I need to worry about that. I need it to be done yesterday. Hello, impatience. Why is it that we feel that we're not doing good enough if things haven't already happened? And this is something that I constantly deal with and overcome. Here I am sharing this with you raw because I think it's so important that we bring this out into the light. Sometimes when we are driven women that achieve a lot, we often deprioritize that low-level anxiety. We think, well, I'm not an anxious person. I don't have some of the more obvious traits of a person that suffers from anxiety. And yet here I am feeling, wow, I haven't done this yet. When will this be done? Why isn't it already done? Shouldn't it already be in place? Why aren't I already selling this? Why aren't people already gaining from this? All the thoughts that swirl around just because we've had a great idea that is still in process. And boy, the ideas flow, right? We're just the sort of people that get great ideas. But then we get ourselves all caught up in imposter syndrome and the fear and worry that if it hasn't already happened, then will it happen? Why hasn't it happened? What if it doesn't happen? And the interesting thing that when these thoughts arise, we get less done. I know from my own perspective, sitting down to get my podcast thoughts together and to start mapping out my modules for my mastermind training, I found myself feeling a bit overwhelmed by the fact that I was just at the starting blocks on both of those things and wishing that I'd already completed it, that I was already celebrating that success. But here's where the magic comes in. When we quantum leap our success, we decide that it is already done. It's intrinsically linked with trust and certainty. Two aspects that with our personality types, it's definitely more difficult to lean into. Feeling the trust. It will be done. It is done. It's already in my vortex. I've already conceptualized it. I've already imagined it. Therefore, it's done. The fact that I have to step through the process and I have to create it as I go is just a foregone conclusion. And even from a less spiritual perspective, if you inquire and look back into your own life's history, you'll see that this is true. You'll see that you've come up with great ideas and you have completed them. They've come into this world, whether they are personal goals, family goals, business goals. Things have happened, big things that perhaps at one point you thought were impossible, that exist right here and right now. They've happened. And so too will these big business plans of yours. Will my plans come to fruition? Of course they're going to. So why the anxiety? Leaning into trust and starting to feel that certainty is going to be the game changer that allows that quantum leap. Once you start feeling that, once you know that deep knowing that whatever it is that you need to create to take your business to the next level is already done, that's when we truly create from a place of flow and intuition. That place that doesn't include the pushing and the striving and the stress. The place that will never lead to burnout because, of course, it's a place of pure creation and joy. It's almost as though the anxiety I felt this morning about those projects was there for a reason. It was there to remind me of the fact that trust is my word of the year, and it will be my word of the year next year too, because for me, trust is everything. When I lean into trust and I start to feel more certain about things, suddenly I calm down. And it's inspired and empowered me to record this episode raw and sharing my truth. And this is what I want for you too. It's all about your mission, getting behind what your message is for the people that really need to hear it. And sometimes that will literally flow through you in the moment. Whether or not you share it on your own podcast or in a blog, or simply share it with a client that you might be speaking to that day, this is all part of the process of trust and certainty, knowing that what needs to come up is coming up. And it may not look exactly like you planned. I may not have created my modules today, but hell, I have created this podcast and this message that I needed today. And I hope that this has helped you in some way today too. Thank you for listening to my podcast. And if you're enjoying my message, please support the podcast by jumping into Apple Podcast app and leaving me a review and sharing this podcast with all your business besties so they can tune in too. So here's to trust and certainty and having an inspired action day. Take care. Bye now.